Hey, welcome everyone to Movement Yoga, 9 a.m. West Coast, 12 p.m. East Coast. Thank you for joining us, whether it's live right now or later on Facebook Live, the recorded aspect thereof. My name is Mark Cormier. My wife and I, Kathy and I, do these mostly every week, unless we're on vacation or something comes up. Anyway, super welcome. If you'd like to see us do anything specifically in terms of a shape or a sequence or a part of the body to focus on, please put it in the comment section, and otherwise we'll do our thing. Kathy, are you ready?
I am.
You have your water?
I do.
Excellent. For once, not for once, but typically it's very foggy in San Francisco here this time of year, and today it looks like the fog has lifted early, so lots of sunshine. All right.
Good morning, everybody.
Excellent. Anything you'd like to focus on today, Kathy?
So, I always thought this is the thoracic spine, but I guess you told me it's this. So.
Okay, so I can demo it here. So this is your cervical spine up here,
Mm-hmm.
and then once the ribs start, which is going to be, I don't want to tickle you, but
Sorry.
where your ribs are, that's your thoracic spine.
Ah, okay, cool. I think I need to work on keeping that open and not going like this.
Okay, that also has to do with shoulders and scapula, but sure. All right.
I guess it's all integrated. I know.
It's all connected. What was that old song? Knee bones connected to the shin bone.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. All right.
That's true.
So let's get warmed up. Hands on hips. Let's just march it from side to side. Yeah, throw a little karate kick in there. Welcoming the day with a little movement. And then let's let that movement get less vigorous as we stay grounded through the feet mostly. And then just rocking it from side to side, finding your center. Once we have that, let's rock it front to back as we lift the heels and lift the toes. And then staying grounded through heels and toes as we rock it front to back. And then finding your center. From here, staying grounded through both feet, let's circle the circumference of the feet, starting to connect with our core. And then taking those circles the other way. Now coming back center, keeping your feet wide, let's bring hands to heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you align it with each finger. Relax shoulders, a soft tuck of the chin. Starting our practice this morning, watching as our breath flows in. And watching as our breath flows out. From a place of just watching your breath, I invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow breath in, followed by an equally long, slow breath out. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to bring the air to the top of your chest, the base of your belly, filling up each sideways, filling up both front and back planes of your body. As you breathe out, I'll invite you to engage your core as you draw the low belly in and up, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up, squeezing a little more air out. More importantly, with that core engagement, providing structural support for your low back as you move through these shapes and sequences, almost like putting on a weight belt from the inside. Keeping this deeper, fuller, more active breath, I'll allow you to move towards a go-to breath in many flow practices, the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath, slightly constricting the base of your throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice, often compared to the sounds of the ocean as the waves wash in and out. Last two details before we start to stretch and move. I'll invite you to take the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth, keeping that tongue loop throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, if you close your eyes, opening your eyes, tall through the crown, I'll invite you to roll your hands over as we bring our hands by our side. From here, warming it up with the fire breath, short, sharp breaths no. Short, sharp exhalations out through the nose as we inhale the arms up in front. On the exhale, casting the hands back. Let's do that 8 times. Last one. And then back up, and I'll invite you to step or jump it on in. Feet together, or you could work a little bit wider. Sun Sal A, we'll take it in pieces. Okay, you don't have to go sideways yet. You can. And we're just taking it in pieces. We're just work arms and shoulders here. Breathing arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling arms back down. 2 more times like this. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Now we'll add the forward fold. Inhaling arms up. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back, lifting chin and tail. Exhaling, rounding the spine as we fold again. Inhaling, arms out to the side, finding your flat back and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times like this. Breathing arms up. Exhaling into your forward fold. Take a breath to arc. Exhaling, arching as we fold again. Inhaling, riding the breath up, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 1 more to go here. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to arc the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as we fold. Inhaling, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun Sal A, we'll put it all together. Now if you'd like to go sideways, and you can see the frame there, yeah, you're towards the front. Perfect. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you ground on down and find your down dog. I will not cue vinyasa on this first one. So just finding down dog. As we hold this down dog, I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply and then the other, grounding down through the opposite heel. Moving back and forth between the sides, just stretching it out. How does your body feel this morning? What feels right? What feels tight? What feels somewhere in between? Yeah, if your shoulders feel good, you can add a little sway, a little swing of that shoulder girdle. If your neck feels good, maybe a turn of the head, a little shake of the head. And then from this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards relative stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. And then on the tail end of a breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little bit higher, more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or maybe a jump front, maybe a little later. Take a breath to arc the back when you arrive. On the exhale, arching the spine as you fold. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. Urdhva Hastasana, hands overhead pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Second one, much like the first, this time I will cue vinyasa. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you ground on down, keeping the elbows soft as you find a push-up. Yeah, try not to lock the elbows. Try not to set plank. Keep the elbows soft the whole time. Exhaling down. Inhaling, rolling over the toes, either lifting the hips or not for either cobra or up dog. And then either using the knees or not as you drop back to down dog. Another option might be all four. Yet another option might be a child's pose. Always balancing your effort with your ease. Wherever you choose to work, breathing, watching that breath, and enjoying that reflection upon your breath. As we hold down dog, again, you can either hold it in stillness, seeing what arises, or maybe adding a little movement, trying to stir it up a little bit. Whatever feels right and good for you. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands, and either stepping or jumping at front. Take a breath to find length in your arm. Keeping that length as we fold again. Inhaling, riding the breath up, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more Sunsal A. We'll throw a plank into the mix. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as we ground on down and making your way back. The down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back, your choice. Awesome. Feeling free to hold your down dog or choosing to add that plank as we inhale forward to plank pose and hold for 3 or 4 long slow breaths. Feeling that connection between head, hips, and heels. Connecting with a line of strength running through the center of yourself. Shoulders super, super, super engaged. Those of us in plank pose, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, navel to spine as you lift the hips high, bringing it back to down dog and holding for another couple of breaths. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands, and either stepping or jumping in front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Exhaling, folding again. Inhaling, leading with the back of the heart, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun Salutation B, flow style. Inhaling into a chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower, more strength in your legs. On the exhale, rising on up, finding a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length as you arc the spine, really dip back heart. On the exhale, really puff back heart as you ground on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back. And we'll see who's here. Morning Robin. All right, flow style, feet together. Right leg high for the 3-legged dog. High in the left toes as we stretch out Achilles tendon and calf. And then looking between the hands, bringing that right foot through, landing it lightly as we spin the back heel down. Arms out to the side and then overhead, warrior 1. Awesome. And then on the exhale, spinning the palms out as you find your low lunge, spinning that back heel up. And then back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa, stretching straight back, or making another choice as you will. Yeah, always making it your practice. Flowing through space with grace. Starting to connect with our feeling bodies. How does it feel? When you're ready, second side, feet together, left leg high, high in the right toes. Looking between the hands, I'll invite you to pitch that leg even higher, and then sweeping that foot on through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead, inhaling. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge, as you will. And nice addition with those cactus arms, Kathy. Sure, it feels great, working that thoracic spine, warming up those shoulders. Yeah, and then, either use the knees or not on that one. A little more core engagement without the knees. Wherever you choose to work. Coming back to summer 50, same breath. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. So goes the breath. So goes the mind. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump from. Take a breath to find length when you arrive, arcing the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as you fold. On the inhale, finding your flat back, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, engaging your glutes to support that back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by your side. Throwing a dragon dog into our mix. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length. On the exhale, keeping that length as you ground on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. Awesome. Flow style, feet together. Right leg high for your three-legged dog. High on the left toes. On an exhale, finding a dragon dog, knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale it back up. 2 more times. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. Third one will hold. Exhale it forward. Inhale and hold. And on that next exhale, lots of core engagement as you step that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead warrior one. And then on the exhale, riding your breath back to low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. And take your time, find your flow. Second side, feet together, left leg high, high on the right toes. On an exhale, finding your dragon dog, knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale it up, take your time. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. This third one will hold for the inhale. And on that next exhale, getting that foot as far front as you can, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Yeah, let me just do a quick check-in. How are you feeling, Kathy?
I'm feeling good.
All right. Are you ready to do one more dragon dog sequence with a twist?
Sure.
All right. I'll let you get back to Summer Virti.
Oh, this is it.
Pardon?
Sorry. I'm supposed to stand if we're hot.
What? No, you're good. You're good. I cued the second side. You're just holding your down dog.
Okay.
All good. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher and looking between the hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding again. On the inhale, finding your chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. All right, here comes that dragon dog with a twist. One more sun sal B, then we're done with our warm-up. Yeah, grab some
It's a
water.
warm day today.
Yeah.
We're so acclimated to the cool weather here.
I know. It gets above 80 and I'm starting to sweat. All right, probably top of your mat, yeah. Inhaling into your chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length as you arc. Really feel that dip in back hard. That's it. On the exhale, puffing back hard as you fold again. And grounding on down and either finding down dog or cycling through vinyasa. Your choice. Flow style. Feet together, right leg high for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes. Now on an exhale, bringing right knee to right elbow, maybe give it a tap. And inhale it up, take your time. Now finding the twist, right knee to left elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not. Inhale it up. Now bringing that knee center in, holding for the inhale. And then on that exhale, getting that foot as far front as you can, navel to spine, squeeze it tight, tight, tight. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Take your time, find your flow. Second side, feet together, left leg high on the right toes. On an exhale, bringing left knee to left elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not, and inhale it up. Now finding the twist, left to right, maybe tap it, maybe not. Inhale it up. Now bringing that knee center and holding for the inhale. And on your next exhale, getting that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Awesome. Shoulder blades back and down. Beautiful. That's what we talk about with our thoracic spine and shoulder combination. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. Listening and feeling as your Ujjayi breath flows in and out. In down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift your tailbone just a little bit higher. And either stepping or jumping at front. Take a breath to create length. Keeping that length as we fold. On the inhale, finding your chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll ask you to face camera, Kathy. Again, bringing hands to heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. Relax shoulders, a soft tuck of the chin. Watching as our breath flows in. And watching as our breath flows out. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, I'll invite you to roll your hands over as we bring our hands by our side. Let's work with that fire breath again here as we inhale the arms up to one side. On the exhale, bending the knees, passing the hands through center, giving those wrists a little flick. And other side. 8 times both ways. Couple more each way. One more each side. And then back up. And either stepping or jumping it. I'll ask you to go sideways. Sun salutation C. You might come forward just a tad, yeah. Inhaling into your chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, finding that back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you fold again and making your way back to down dog as you will. All right, we're going to play with our three-legged dog yet again as we add a hip opener. Feet together, right leg high on the right toes. Sorry, left toes. Yeah, so right leg high on the left toes. We want to keep that right shoulder just as it is, so we're twisting from that thoracic spine, that rib spine, as we stack the hips, lift the leg straight. You might not go far. Now bending that top leg, opening up the leg. Keeping that shoulder just as it is as best you can. Big circles, thigh bone in the hip socket for 3, and 2, and 1. Take it the other way. Try to relax your neck a little bit. 1, and 2, and 3. Now looking between the hands, pitching that knee even higher. Feel the engagement in your glute. And then stepping that right foot through, landing it lightly as we spin the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead, Warrior 1. In Warrior 1, I'll invite you to bring hands back to your hips. If you're as long as you're going to get, stay right there. Otherwise, shifting weight onto the front foot to scoot that back foot back for a little more stretch in your legs. And you look like a good, comfortable distance there. You got some effort, but not so much effort that you're anxious to come out of the shape. From here, with our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front, hip front, hip back. They're not going to get there, but you want to feel that energetic action. Now, 4 fingers find the tip of the thumb. Trying to touch the front of our wrists as we stretch out the back of our wrists. I'll allow you to circle those bird beaks for 1, and 2, and 3. Taking them the other way for 3 and 2 and 1. Now bringing those bird beaks onto our shoulders, asymmetrically rolling the shoulders as we roll one shoulder front and then the other for 1 and 2 and 3. Other way for 3 and 2 and 1. And then bringing those shoulders center and letting them relax onto your ribs, feeling that shoulder to thoracic spine connection. Keeping that, finding a clasp of the fingers behind the back of the head, pressing the head strongly into the hands as we widen the elbows, open heart, open throat, and then stretching those hands high to the sky. From here, pulling silk threads, straightening that front leg without locking the knee, inhaling as we gather up the energy. Exhaling cactus arms as we offer it out 8 times. Inhale and exhale. Halfway done if you're working with us. Last 2 here. Last one, breathing in, breathing out in, holding cactus arms. The elbows move back, the hands come with, and allow you to ripple those fingers as you keep your hands simple. Cactus arms, whether you're in Warrior One legs or not, a great go-to shape at any point in your day as you reestablish that shoulder to thoracic spine connection. From here, let's play with our balance. Hands find the hips, we're moving towards a flamingo, spinning the back heel up, taking a big step in or a couple of steps. Starting to balance on that right foot as we lift that left leg up with a point to the toe. Either working a low flamingo, toe close to the ground, or a less low flamingo as we lift it up high. Nice. From here, let's move towards our Warrior 3. Feel free to tap down as we start to pitch the body forward and lengthen that leg back. Keeping the knee of the standing leg soft to make those little adjustments. Notice the adjustments your ankle makes to keep your balance. From here, we can either keep hands on hips or bring hands to heart. Either keeping hands at heart, or we can, I like to sweep them out to the side, a little more challenging, as we bring them in front. And then lifting the face to look through those hands as if you're looking through a large glass ball. Maybe visualizing your attention, whatever your intention might be, in that clear glass ball. Hands in front can come back to the heart. Hard hands become hip hands. Coming back to our flamingo, feel free to tap down or not, as we bring that leg back front. In our flamingo, lifting that leg a little higher. Now taking a bow to the knee so we collect energy in our belly, keeping the low back relaxed, lengthening through the leg without dropping the thigh, soft point to the toe. This one is not easy, I know, but really we strengthen that complex of muscles here. That gives our low back lots of support when we're in other shapes besides this. Now lifting that thigh a little higher if you have it in you. Now flexing the foot as you stretch out Achilles tendon and calf, sweeping that foot through. If you have to tap down, it's all good. Finding your Warrior One with your hands on your hips. Now steering Warrior One hips into Warrior Two hips as we steer the hips sideways. We can kick that back foot in for a narrower stance side to side. And then finding one long arm, looking out past those front fingers with a mixture of effort and ease. Again, you can set your intention here, whatever that intention might be. From here, I'll invite you to paint rainbow, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling Warrior Two. We'll do this 8 times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. We're halfway done. In. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2 here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. I'll invite you to hold that reverse warrior. Reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between your ribs with every breath. And mimicking those ribs with your fingers as you spread those fingers wide. And breathing into your hands. Even though our lungs don't actually go there, we can use our breath as a metaphor for our awareness, finding more space in our body from the inside out. Turning our reverse warrior back into Warrior Two. Now, finding your rainbow warrior, you might choose to use a strap, towel, or a clasp of the fingers. Why don't you clasp the fingers just to demo? And then if you have a yoga assistant, they'll bring you a towel or a strap.
Thank you.
And of course, you can always just grab that. So here, let's work that shoulder thoracic spine connection initially. So you ground the shoulder blades back down under the spine, a little bit of a back bend. There you go. You want to keep that back bend as you take the deep dive inside the front leg. Feel free to use the thigh as a parking lot for the torso, otherwise let it hang free. And now you're going to lose that connection as you relax into a rounded spine. You're going to let the shoulders slide off the ribs down towards your ears. Nice subtle stretch in that upper thoracic spine. I'll allow you to do a little neck check, a little swing, a little sway, making sure your neck's not holding any tension.
It is, but
Okay, try to release and relax that tension with that movement. And you might just want to focus on the neck, but if you can relax the neck, maybe letting that motion get bigger as you start to swing the shoulders, sway the hips. Inviting any tension in your entire body to drain down through the crown of the head into the earth. I can tell you're holding tension in your neck, so you really try to let that neck go. And you know, sometimes that causes the pose to feel a little tippy. The way to stabilize the shape is not to tense the neck, it's to work the legs stronger. Nice, beautiful. In our rainbow warrior, before you come up, and follow the cue, you want a strong tuck of the chin, you come on up. Now lifting the chin tall through the crown. As you come back to your warrior two, you can just drop that tall down. Beautiful. Yeah, remember maybe a little more tension in those fingers. Yeah, you want to look past those front fingers with your intention. Awesome. From here, moving towards our triangle, thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. You want to deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs. I offer a few different options for the bottom hand. We can bring thumb in line with shin bone as we wrap the calf, opening up that bottom shoulder. Another option, some people like to grab the big toe or ground the hand inside or outside the foot. If you're used to doing that, you should do it. My favorite option is to balance up and down energy by bringing bricks outside the shin. You want to make sure those bricks are solid and stable. Feeling a physical connection between the brick and the shin. Once we have that foundation, we can use that top hand to rotate our ribs. It's not exactly the ribs, a little lower. Now your shoulder, use that top hand, opening up that shoulder, and then stretching hand high. And then arm and shoulder travel together. The more that arm moves back, the more that shoulder blade opens up. Scapula ground down, or shoulder blade, I'll use the common term, is going to ground back and down onto the spine. Again, establishing that shoulder to thoracic spine connection.
that's the scapula. I didn't realize that.
Scapula's shoulder blade, yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What's the middle of your shoulder blade?
Still part of your scapula's big. It's that whole thing.
That whole wingspan.
Well, yeah, people call it the wings. Your angel wings. Awesome, beautiful. You have such a nice triangle. She's even thrown a little back bend into the equation here, which is fine if your back wants to do that. She's choosing to look somewhere between off to the side and up. Looks very natural and good for her neck. Yeah, it's a great triangle this morning, Kathy. Now we're going to mix it up. We're going to play with the triangle on one foot as we move towards half moon. Hand finds the hip. We can soften that front knee. Either one big step or a couple of steps in. Take your time here, yeah. Setting your base. Now, before you do anything, though, you want to set that base. You want to find hand and foot. Once you have the base, you're going to start to float the back leg. And that's a safer way to move into the shape. We can use that hand to rotate the ribs, top hand. Now we're going to open up that shoulder again. And again, feeling that scapula to spine connection as we stretch that hand high. Awesome. Yeah, the classic X position is going to be a flexed back foot. I'm not super insistent on that. You might point the toe, you might rotate that ankle. Sometimes when we do something at the periphery, it helps with the balance because we're not so focused on not falling down. And you never want to say the F word, falling down. Beautiful. From the half moon, let's come out easily. Hand finds the hip, back foot comes down to the Once you have 2 feet down, we shift the weight into the feet, hands find the hips. From here, just like I did before, I'll invite you to lengthen your stance, shift the weight on the front foot, and slide that back foot back. Yeah, nice, beautiful. Coming back to your warrior two, one long arm. And you get lots of intention in the fingers, lots of intention in your gaze. And from here, a big windmill of the arms, lots of waist to windmill. As you lift back heel, finding your low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. as we hold down dog. Coming back to that same breath, Samavritti. Long, smooth breaths out. Long, smooth breaths out. And you're holding in stillness, and it rises or adding a little stir, stirring it up, starting to move energy around your body. We can do that either through surrender or through effort. In down dog, I think we have a second side to do. You get lots of energy to do that. All right, flow style, feet together, left leg high, high on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, twisting from your ribs, your thoracic spine as you stack the hips. Now bending that leg, letting the weight of the leg open up that hip. Keeping that shoulder just as it is. I'll invite you to do big, big circles for 1, 2, and 3. I know it's not easy, and then take it the other way. For 3, 2, and 1. Now looking between the hands, you're going to pitch that knee even higher. Feel that engagement in your glute. And then sweeping that left foot through, spinning the back heel down. Arms out to the side. And then overhead. Warrior 1. In Warrior 1, I'll invite you to bring hands back to your hips. Kathy tends to go long immediately, so she rarely does anything here. I tend to go short. So the way to lengthen your stance is to shift weight onto that front foot and slide that back foot back. You already look at a comfortable place. Nice mix between effort and ease. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front hip back, back hip front. 4 fingers find the tip of a thumb. We're going to stretch out our wrists as we try to touch the front of our wrists. Now circling those burpees for 3, and 2, and 1. Other way for 1, and 2, and 3. And then bringing those bird beaks onto our shoulders. Asymmetrical shoulder rolls as we roll one front and then the other for 3, and 2, and 1. Other way for 1, and 2, and 3. Now bringing those shoulders center and letting them relax onto our ribs. Now finding that clasp of the fingers behind the head. And then I'll invite you to walk the fingers one over as you find the unfamiliar clasp. Now pressing the head strongly into the hands. Elbows wide to the side, open heart, open throat. And then keeping that as we stretch those hands high. From here with the breath, breathing in as we gather up the energy. Exhaling cactus arms 8 times, breathing in, breathing out. Halfway done if you're working with us. Last 2. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out in, holding. Elbows move back, the hands come with, rippling those fingers. And again, this is a great go-to shape. You don't have to have Warrior 1 legs to do it as we establish that shoulder to thoracic spine connection. From here, let's move towards our balance challenge. Hands find the hips as we spin the back heel up. Big step in or a couple of steps in. You can also slide the foot. Finding our flamingo as you balance on the left foot, right thigh high with a point to the toe. Beautiful. Now at home, you can stay right here. It's plenty challenging for many of us to balance on one foot. Depending on the time of day, your emotional state, where you are, uneven ground makes it more difficult. If you're on even ground and you're feeling your balance this morning, we can start to turn this into Warrior 3. So start to pitch the body forward and lengthen that leg back. Take your time, you can always tap down. When you find a Warrior 3 that works for you, we can play with the arms as we bring hands onto heart. And maybe it's most challenging, you just bring the hands straight forward and maybe sweep them out to the side, finding your angel wings, and then in front. And then lifting the face to look through those hands as if you're holding a large glass ball, and you might set your intention in the center of that ball, looking towards your intention. Why do we do all the things that we do? In terms of the back foot, classically it's flexed, but you might play with that. A little ankle rotation, whatever works for you. Make sure it feels good. You might have a little more intentionality in those fingers. You really want to hold that ball strongly. From here, we can bring hands back to the heart. Hard hands become hip hands. Now we're going to swing that foot front, tapping down is all good or not, as we come back to our flamingo. Now lifting that leg a little higher. Now taking a little bow to the knee, so we draw energy into belly, not low back. And then lengthening through the leg without dropping the thigh with a soft point to the toe. Despite the effort of the action, long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. Again, leaning a little bit more forward as we lift the leg a little bit higher, drawing energy into our center. Now flexing the foot as we stretch out ankle and Achilles tendon as we sweep that foot through. If you have to tap down, all good. Coming back to Warrior One with our hands on our hips. Now steering Warrior One hips into Warrior Two hips as we steer the hips sideways. Maybe kicking that back foot in for a narrower stance or not. And then moving towards our Warrior Two, one long arm. Lots of intentionality in the fingers, both sides, and looking past those fingers with that intention. From here, painting rainbows, breathing in as we gather up the energy, exhaling as we offer it out 8 times, breathing in, super flowy here. Now take your time, all parts of the body work. 80% water, so we're going to work with that water element. Breathing in, and breathing out. We're halfway done if you're working with us. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling up, exhaling back. I think we have one more to go and we'll hold it. Breathing in and then holding. Reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib with every breath. And mimicking those ribs with your fingers as you find more space in your hands. And breathing into that space. Feels so good. Turning our reverse warrior back into Warrior Two. Now finding your rainbow warrior. If you don't have a prop close by, you can clasp the fingers. If you have a prop close by or a yoga assistant, you can use a towel or a strap. And then finding your rainbow warrior. So you want to set the rhythm first between shoulders and thoracic spine. Really ground down. Keeping open heart as you fold as long as you can, bringing the hands up and over the head. And then once you find a place where you're comfortable, you're going to let the spine round. You really want to relax that head. You really want to heavy that head.
What do you do with your hands?
I like to try to pull the towel apart. Yeah, same thing when I'm clasping my fingers. And by engaging the muscles, it's another way to engage your intention. So if you just let the arms hang, I think the balance gets trickier, but when you work strong legs and strong arms, the balance becomes easier, so you can let that neck relax. Yeah. Either focusing on the neck, or if you still want to go bigger, a little swing of the shoulders, a little sway of the hips, just inviting any tension in your body to drain down through the crown of the head. Now before we come up, I'm going to ask you to tuck the chin strongly, stretching out that neck. Feel that. Keeping that tuck as we bring it on up. Tall through the crown, we're going to relax and release the towel as we come back to our Warrior Two. Lots of intention in those front fingers. From here, moving towards our triangle. Thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. We're going to deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs. Different options on that bottom hand. We can bring thumb in line with shin bone as we wrap the calf. You want to demo that? Yeah, that opens up that bottom shoulder. Some like to grab the big toe. I think that's too low for many of us, me in particular. Some will ground a hand down inside or outside. Some like to let the hand hang free. I'm not a huge fan of that. Once we have our foundation, we've chosen to use bricks here, my favorite version. We can use that top hand to rotate the ribs, opening up shoulder, and then stretching hand high. And again, arm travels with shoulder, feeling that rhythm between the shoulder and the spine and your thoracic spine. There's that scapula, grounds back and down. Beautiful. Yeah, even that little adjustment, it just moved you like 2 inches, which is awesome. Choosing either to look down to the ground, very grounding, off to the horizon or up to the sky. Now, Kathy has her eyes closed, which I think is okay if you're into the shape.
There's a light in my eye, that's why.
Okay. If you're zoning out though, you want to keep your eyes open. Stay focused. Even though we're relaxing, it's a conscious relaxation. Awesome. From here, moving towards our half moon, top hand finds the hip. We can soften the front knee, either one big step or a couple of steps in. Setting your base, set the base first. So left hand off to the left, you might use a brick, you might not. Once we have hand and foot, we can pour weight into hand and foot as the back foot gets light. Once you find a place where you'd like to work, we can use that top hand to rotate the ribs, Opening up shoulders, we find that scapula to spine connection. Maybe lifting hand high to the sky, keeping that connection. Choosing either to look down, off to the side, or up to the sky. And I'm going to adjust the camera here. I don't know if you did it on the first side, but that's a beautiful half moon. Welcome, Catherine. Good morning. Coming out of the half moon easily, top hand finds the hip. We can soften the standing leg. Let's take a short stance as we come down. Hands find the hips, shifting weight onto the front foot to lengthen our stance. Coming back to our warrior two. I'll adjust the camera here, one long arm. And then from our warrior two. A big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders for low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa, stretching straight back, or making another choice instead. Awesome. And from down dog, I'll invite you to land the knees lightly as you find a child's pose with a stack of soft fists, letting your forehead rest on those fists. As we hold this child's pose, I'll invite you to find your belly breath and a gentle rock of your hips from side to side. Keeping that gentle rock from side to side, I'll invite you to switch the stack of the fists. And then keep rocking it side to side. Let it be all about you, all about settling in your hips, releasing and relaxing your back. From here, I'll invite you to bring your feet off to the side and find a long, slow roll down onto your back, coming to the top of your mat. So when you lay down, you've got something soft for your head to relax upon. Starting from tall spine with Frankenstein arms. Now tucking tail and chin as you find C-spine and roll it on down. You can always bend the legs to catch the back of the thighs for the assist. When we get down to our backs, full body stretch, long arms, long legs, the low back lifts. And then I'll allow you to pressure back into the mat. As you draw one knee in, the other knee follows. Hands cap the knees, and we're going to release and relax our back as we circle our sacrum. Big circles, little circles, let them be your circles. Yeah, I'm doing I'm suggesting a unitary circle. Oh. Yeah, there you go. And then taking that circle the other way. If you're doing the other circles, that's good too. Kathy sometimes forgets she's a yoga model and she does her own practice, which is beautiful. She does a really nice practice. And from this place, I'll allow you to lengthen through one leg, lengthening through the others as you find our Shavasana. Letting the low back find its natural curve, scooting the head back as we flatten our shoulders. Tip of the tongue now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through the nose. And we won't be here too long. At home, feeling free to hold your Shavasana as long as you'd like. For the purposes of this class, I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. Moving our minds before we move our bodies. Bring our attention back to our breath, watching as it flows in and out, like watching a river as that river flows by. To this watching of your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as we vary that ratio between the inhale and the exhale, finding a long, slow breath in, followed by an even longer, slower breath out. Keeping this more relaxing breath, inviting energy into our bodies as we gently ripple fingers and toes. Inviting energy in towards center as we gently circle our wrists and our ankles. Adding a little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, whatever feels right and good for you. Connecting with your own innate sense of well-being. Now pressing your back into the mat to support the action of the legs. As we draw one knee into the heart, the other knee follows. Hands cap the knees. I'll invite you to reach back. I'll invite you to use your thighs to massage your low belly as you gently lift and lower low back and hips. Yeah, front to back, side to side, little circles, whatever feels right and good for you. Now reaching back with a hand, keeping the neck relaxed as you lift and tuck the chin. So So use your hand to do that if you can. Yeah, it's going to be a little easier on the neck. Keep your neck relaxed. And use that strength of the hand to tuck the chin. Nice. Chin stays tucked. The hand comes back to the shin. Feel free to keep the hands on the front of the shins as you start to rock it front to back to front. If you need a little more momentum, you could always catch the back of the thighs as we rock on up to claim a cross-legged sit. I'll ask you to sit towards camera. As we sit, grounded down through our sits bones, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees. Pushing down on those sits bones to lift the kidneys in and up, more space in the low back. Pulling back with the hands to settle those shoulder blades back and down. Long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. I'll invite you to bring one hand onto the heart, the other hand on top. Ending our practice listening and feeling as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you, everyone, for practicing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me.
Thank you, Mark. Thank
All
you,
right.
everyone.
And we'll see you next time. And as always, namaste sounds so much like have a nice day, and we'll see you real soon.